Happy Sunday, folks. Billy here. Stanley's with me this morning, as you can see. Always with me. Right, so this project today, I've never done this project before. Thought I'd give it a try. My sort of interpretation of it. You will have seen other makers make these, but I think not quite like how I'm going to make them. I'm just going to put my own sort of stamp on the design. You probably all guessed that I like sort of changing the designs up and making things look a little bit different from the norm in sort of some of the projects I'm doing anyway. So I'm just going in with some 8x1 pine boards. It's a mixture of 8x1 pine boards and 4x2 pine, which you'll sort of see shortly. There's my little sort of stand there working for me now. If you've seen the last video on Friday, you will have seen me make that little workshop helper, and it's just made a massive difference to this table, if I'm perfectly honest with you. No more sort of wobble. Why I didn't make this just ages ago, just to sort of support them boards on one side, I don't know. But my plan is make a custom made table that's sort of skinny, that runs the full length of this with a drop down in of some capacity for me saw. Now this Makita saw is quite a large saw, so it's going to be a tricky sort of build to do that. So I'm still in the process of thinking how it's going to be done, and I've got to think about space and getting round, and I've got size 12 feet. And it's not fun sometimes when you're constantly tripping over stuff like me. I'm clumsy at the best of times, never mind with being in a short space and wires and stuff like that. I'm always falling and banging into things, and oh, I'm terrible for it. So I'm just going in here making sure all my cuts are nice and sort of square and accurate as I can. You don't have to be super accurate with this, just with some of the joints are doing a bit, you'll have to be a bit accurate. And it's sort of a nice project, and in the end I really love the way this project has turned out. It's so different. You'll see at the end how different the project is. You will have seen the sort of concept of what I'm making before, most definitely, but you will never ever have seen this design I've put on them. Now, as you probably know, I'm an antiques dealer, so I can sort of look at and I get inspired by sort of designs from the past and sort of like try and bring them up to date. So a lot of this was sort of like Gothic, ecclesiastical, that sort of vibe that was going in with this, with a little bit of arts and crafts thrown in. And then with my own stamp that I'm developing with the designs, and really, if you're a beginner woodworking, it's a nice little thing to sort of add on your own sort of personal touch to your furniture. People will know it's yours, and it just makes it a lot better. It's just cool, isn't it? So I'm just going, again, I'm just cutting through, and I'm just cutting strips here. These are 6cm strips. I'm cutting it in the 8x1, so basically they're sort of like 2cm thick, these boards. They are good boards, nice thick boards, these ones I've got from the wood yard this time. And I'm just going through making sure I get all the dimensions right now. And there's one mistake I made. I'm no good at maths, I don't know about you, so I've cut all my boards there and I forgot to cut some, so I do go back and cut some more. And they were just for the sort of like supports on one of the things I'm making. So as I always ask, let me know where you're all from. I'm always interested where everybody's from, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It makes a massive difference, and your support's absolutely amazing. I want to thank every single one of you and all the new subscribers. Welcome on board, and I hope you all get something from these videos. So yeah, I'm just going in here, still cutting, I'm still cutting. And just a bit about the next project I'm going to do, which will be Wednesday's project. The amount of wood I've cut up for that project was unbelievable, and when I cut it, it didn't look much. It's some projects, you'll see what I mean on my next video. So just keep them hands well away from the miter saw blade. But you're not going to actually put your hands there, are you? But you know exactly what I mean. I keep telling everybody about safety. And that's that. 3, they're just bits of scrap, will no doubt go in my scrap pile and come in for another project at some point, or I'll use them in a project. So there's a lot of marking out here, and this is good practice for marking out for bigger boards and stuff like that. If you can sort of master everything on sort of pine, cheap, unexpensive wood, whether it be pallet wood or, you know, free wood, bits of furniture that you break up, and you can sort of get your skill levels to a level, then that's how I'd sort of say go ahead and do it, and then progress up to the hardwoods and stuff like that. I'm still a bit scared to sort of like get hardwood projects going, just because of the price, and if you make mistakes, it's not like a cheap mistake that you can do with, you know, bits of pine and bits of scrap wood and bits of pallet wood, that sort of thing. So just practice. At some point in the future, I don't know when, I will start doing a few things with hardwoods. Now, hardwood over here in the UK especially is super expensive, but luckily, me being into antiques and I specialise in furniture, antique furniture, so I can source sort of bits of furniture that are, you know, past it, and probably rip them down and use bits off that. So no doubt I'll be showing you a few videos doing things like that, what you can do, which may be beneficial to a lot of you out there. I have done it in the past actually, but what you've got to watch when you're buying the old furniture, there's whole host of things that can go wrong, like it could be riddled with woodworm and all God's loads of stuff. You've got to watch for hidden nails and pins and all that, but some of the designs they're amazing, and some of the wood they use is fantastic, especially the mahogany and the sort of like old pitch pine stuff. If you can get that sort of stuff, and you know, check the furniture's not salvageable first. If it's not, then by all means break it up and use the wood and repurpose it into something else. So I'm just using my clamp here. Just going to clamp this down. Now, I've never done this joint before. Half lap joint, I think they call it, or lap joint, or whatever. You tell me in the comments what joint this is. It's not one of them funny joints that you smoke. It's a wooden joint. So just going in here. Now, I've seen other makers, what they do is they put this sacrificial strip at the back, so the blade will go right through. And then there's various ways of doing this. You can do it on a table saw, you can do it with a router, all that kind of stuff. I did try it with a circular saw. I haven't got the footage of that, but I weren't comfortable doing it with the circular saw. My circular saw is an old one, and it's really heavy, and you can't see where the blade was, where it was going, so I just thought I'd stay clear. I tried a few things, and doing it with the miter saw seemed to be my best bet. I haven't got a table sled for me table saw yet, which I will be making a little sled for it, which may have helped if I got a flat tooth blade or something like that. So these is the first time I've done it. Now, they're not going to be perfect, and the first time you do them, they're not going to be perfect, but I think I did quite a reasonable job with them. And just like common sense tells you, get as much sort of glue on all the surfaces. Not loads of glue, but make sure all them surfaces are covered, because these joints, it's about the surface area, isn't it, really, that does it. So get your glue in, get your fingers in there, you'll love it. And then just watch. For the first attempt, now don't get me wrong, I have been practising a little bit, but not much, and they're so easy. And no doubt I'll be using these in a lot more ways. I'm just getting in here with an 80 grit sandpaper it's just got a little tiny bit of a lip. when you put them together, but a little bit of a sandpaper and it went away that. So here again, I'm just gluing everything up. Now I think these were the extra ones I had to go back and make, because I didn't do enough. I was sort of like too short, two of these sort of like crosses short. I don't know what it is. Maths and me don't go. When I was at school, I was no good at maths. I was always sort of good at things like using my hands and stuff like that. But maths, numbers, I don't know what it is. I just get super confused. So like I say, there's a lot of marking out, and there was a lot of cutting in these, because I actually did 3 in the end, and it was for me it was quite a bit of work. And no doubt if you batch these out, they'd be super quick. Probably you could batch out quite a lot, but because of the design aspects I wanted to put on, I just needed to make sure everything was right as I went on with the project. So I'm just doing loads more marking out here, getting it doesn't have to be super accurate, this. You can see the boards might be out sort of slightly on the ends there, but it doesn't really matter, as long as you're sort of like getting it as close as possible. You know, I'm just seeing this back on the video there. That little board there, the third board up, could have done with being over a bit, but like you're learning all the time. We're all learning, aren't we? So even sort of experienced joiners and carpenters and woodworkers and furniture makers, it's always a learning curve for everybody. Every day you wake up, it's a learning curve. And get in them garages and sheds, get out making, motivate yourself. It's good for you. It's good for the old brain matter. So anyway, just going across there with my little starret sort of square, and I'm just using an old lid here. I sort of know what I'm going to do. I'm going to round the tops over, and I'm just using that. It's just sort of like the right size really for this. And I just leave that in my bag. I don't know why. I just leave it in my bag. Now the arthritis was playing up severely. There's 2 things here. The arthritis was playing up, and there was a lot of holes to drill. So I just thought I'd break out my little electronic drill press thing, this Bosch thing. I'll leave a description in the... I'll leave a link in the description. It's got laser, variable speed, all that kind of stuff. I'm not sponsored. I've had this for a while. I tried to use my drill and stuff like that, but some days the arthritis is just that sore in my hands, and I had to get this project done, and there was a lot of holes, so I broke this out. I know everybody's not got a drill press, but you can do this with forcing a bit and you drill. So I'm just collecting all these up all over the place, and Shelley collects these, as you know, and she makes firelighters for the winter. So what she'll do is she'll get like old cardboard paper tubes, like toilet roll, you know, the tubes in the middle of them, and kitchen towel holders, and fill them with them, and newspaper each end, and the brilliant firelighters for log burners and stuff. So just going around there with the jigsaw, nothing special, just sort of shaping it at the moment. They do get routed and sanded just to give them a bit more roundness, if that makes sense. I could have put them on my sanding machine and done them sort of major perfect, but I don't know what it is. When I look at sort of things and they look too perfect and they look too mass produced, it takes away from it. I like where you see little flaws in stuff. And I'm going round here, I'm just testing. Now I'm thinking I'm doing something good here by testing the depth of the cut there, what I'm doing, just to sort of make it right and how it'll look and things like that. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm being really clever and stuff like that. But on my first cut, you'll sort of see that was just silly of me. So I'm going round here, and where I've cut that joint into it underneath there, and I've set the depth on my router a little bit too much, and see that there where I just flipped over it, and what it's done, it's sort of conflicted with that joint underneath, so it's made like a mark on the wood. But I know it's there. You can see it there at the front. See what it's done, that one at the front. So I know it's there. I just leave it. I just end up sanding it. I think I'm not making another one. And I know this sounds like a cop-out. It sort of adds to it. I mean, it doesn't. If I was to do it again, I won't make that mistake again. And that's what it's all about. It's all about learning. I won't make that mistake again. I've made the mistake. I won't do it again. So Shelley's going in here now with a Morel stain. And she's using I think this is medium oak, and she's got quite a lot to stain, but she's really, you know, quite quick at this. Yeah, it's medium oak, and it's a spirit-based stain. I always use a combination of the Morel's stains, which is spirit-based, or the Polyvine water-based stains on certain projects. I use two. I tend to keep what I use down to a minimum, because you just end up with loads of stuff on your shelf that you'll never ever use. We always use the Morels and we always use the Polyvine, depending on what project it is. So more gluing up here. Just getting the glue in as I can. Got the fingers in the pie again there. And with the holes, this is a style I'm developing, and these sort of look like they got a bit of an arts and crafts vibe, ecclesiastical, a bit of gothic in there. And I'm going to make some more of these in the future, but this is a project that you can design and put different designs on the outsides of these and make them stunning. I know a lot of you out there that use hardwoods. These would look lovely in oak or a combination of walnut and maple and not all that kind of stuff. I'm not brave enough to start to go out and buy them woods just yet. No doubt in the future I will, but I you know, I don't want to pay stupid money for stuff either. So I'm just cutting some plugs here. I need some plugs. Could have done this on the drill press, but for what I needed, I just thought I'd cut them out. There weren't that many to do. Bit of scrap wood. Bit of glue. The glue I'm using on all my projects is Titebond 2. If it's stuff for outside, it'll be Titebond 3. No particular reason why. Little flush cut saw. I don't know if you've seen the jig. At this point, the jig video works. Just going over just to get it sort of down a bit. Shelley goes over everything the stage anyway. Keep losing stuff. I've actually lost my dust mask. I don't know where it is. I haven't got a clue. Last time I see it, it was on the table and it's just gone. I haven't got a clue where to put stuff. And it'll turn up. It will turn up at some point. But that like mask I use over my face anyway is sort of okay. So there you go. She's going over now with the Polyvine. This is a decorator's varnish. You can go over interior and exterior. Good stuff. Just let it dry. A couple of coats of this. And there we go. And they are plant pot stands, but with a little my design thrown in with the holes. And they've got that look. I love them. I absolutely love them. And there you go, dressed up with the plants. They've got space underneath on a couple of them there for something else. You could put something else down there. But let me know in the comments what you think. I absolutely love these. You could put your own spin on these, your own design. I love them. Let me know, and thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video, which will be Wednesday. Bye for now.